So good news and bad news. Bad news first this time. The bad news is I accidentally lied to you guys yesterday because when I was done recording for the night and getting ready for bed, I ended up getting a message and having my meeting. But because I was already kind of in the process of winding things down, I didn't record it. And so that's the bad news. Is I accidentally lied to you guys because I said I would record it and then I would capture it. But it was kind of late and I honestly wasn't expecting to hear back. And I was winding down, getting ready for bed, and that's when the message came through. So that's the bad news. The good news is that they're basically willing to meet all of the requests that I have. They had a few modifications that I think are reasonable, and they're putting everything down on paper to make a more official, formal offer with all the adjusted terms and such, I think today. So that's the good news. The bad news, I accidentally lied to you guys. The good news is it's still moving forward. I did have the meeting. It seemed to go really well. And now it's just waiting for the actual formal, official offer letter, offer contract, whatever. I'm actually not even sure if they're going to send a contract or I'm 90% certain I would be an employee, not an independent contractor like you see with like players on teams. Is very common to be independent contractors. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's an employment contract. Whatever it ends up being, expecting it today. So that's a good thing. I'm excited about it. The problem, right now it's kind of mid-morning and it's kind of gloomy and gray out today. It looks like we'll probably get storms here in a little bit, which kind of sucks, especially combined with the fact that I don't feel like I got a really good night's sleep. I got like an okay night's sleep, but I don't know if maybe because I went to bed later and I didn't get up much later, if maybe that's just part of it. Because I ended up staying up because I got this call and, I was ready for bed at that point. So I ended up being up later by a fair amount than I was expecting. But whatever the cause, I didn't get the amount of sleep that I was really hoping for. So I'm kind of tired, and the weather being gray and just kind of blah kind of makes me feel like even more tired. I'm trying to energize. I got my first cup of coffee over here with some healthy fats in there. So hopefully that'll give me some energy. And then later on today, I'm going to go get like a really, really good, probably longer workout in just to free up all stress, keep my mind super busy, feel good physically, and also getting a good workout in at times. I know it's sometimes counterintuitive, especially if you don't work out, but getting some good exercise in actually tends to energize you, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm not really sure on what the rest of the night's going to be. If that offer comes in and everything looks good and I take it, maybe it'll be a little bit more celebratory. Maybe it'll be me streaming and talking about it. It's a big question mark at this point. But I'm going to drink this coffee. I've got to edit yesterday's content still and just kind of keep moving forward. It's Friday. I mean, the weekend's already here, which is insane. So I just got some stuff to do. Let me get on it. So I feel great. It's later in the afternoon now and I feel really, really good. But I'm wrestling with something that I don't know what I should do. And it's super early into this mental battle that I'm kind of waging. But one of the groups that I was working with on the branding and consulting side, I feel like we absolutely crushed it. When they listened to what I've suggested, the results have been great. But they changed their mind on things so much that the strategy and planning session that we've had most recently, everybody was on board with. And now they completely changed their minds and they want to do something totally different. The timing doesn't make sense. And they're all over the place and it's very, very difficult to work with. And one of the things that I learned in my consulting career is that sometimes you need to fire a customer for your own sanity, for your business, because it's in the best interest of pretty much everybody involved. And I'm kind of going back and forth and if I want to do that. As an individual, they're one that I've kind of had in my back pocket as a backup plan. So, if all these offers fall through or if I don't like what's out there, I can still generate sufficient income. I don't have any debt other than my mortgage. So, that income helps to kind of cover some of the bills. And it's a nice chunk, a monthly chunk to have as an option. And I know that if I were to say like, yeah, I'm out, that option would go away and probably not come back. So I'm kind of weighing whether or not I want to do that. And I'm intentionally waiting because I think if I started to respond to some of these messages and emails and stuff, like I would just be like, yeah, no, I'm out. And I would do it professionally. I'm not just going to be like, F you, and then I'm out the door. But I'm I'm gonna wait to not be emotional in this decision. Haven't finalized my plans tonight, but I am looking forward to it. The Giants come on at 7, and so I know I'll be watching at least some of it, but I'm not really big in the preseason games. I feel like they especially the early ones, they're like really shitty to watch because you only see the starters for like 1 or 2 sets of downs, and it's just not so early. Like there's no correlation between how they do in preseason and how they'll do in the regular season, and so I'm just not super locked in like I am during the regular season. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to the night. I haven't nailed down the plans for the night yet, like exactly, but I am looking forward to it, and I think it should be a good night overall. And if I hear back in time, it might be a little bit more celebratory than I'm currently planning for it to be, but I have to wait and see. Can't really make those plans until, the email comes in and the message comes out. Or I guess the call. I mean, I guess it's not at this point, it's not a call. It would be an email or a message. So if I end up getting that email or that message, that could certainly change the night. But without knowing if it's coming, I'm just going to plan, for something else. And if it happens, great. And if not, no big deal. One other thing that I've thought about a little bit is growing the beard out a bit more. I had it in the past where it was like long, and I don't want to go to that extent, but I usually trim it with like a number 3 on the, the little beard trimmer thing that I have. But I think I'm going to let it go to maybe a 4 or 4.5 and see what that looks like. I probably should grow like a wizard beard, like a big, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to think, I do think I'm going to let this grow out. And it's funny because I'll go back and watch episodes of this vlog and I'm like, man, like that it looked really good short. I should keep it short. Then I go back and I'm like, oh, it was longer than that one. I liked, how dark it looks. And then I end up changing my mind. So let me know what you think I should do with this beard because it's going to be here to stay. I just don't know at what length. So tonight hasn't really gone as I had loosely planned it in my head. I ended up not really finalizing any plans to give myself a couple different options. And I ended up really not going through on any of them. I ended up having a phone call, and the phone call ended up being fairly long, and it was enjoyable, and so I wasn't in any rush to kind of get moving or get going anywhere. And when that call ended, I decided to just kind of stay in. So my night didn't really go in the direction that I thought it would, but it was still enjoyable, so I can't really complain. And so I feel like I've been pretty good at listening to, I guess my gut. It's not like an inner voice, but there's been days where I feel like I don't feel like going out, and then I won't. And there's been days where it's like I feel like going and doing something, and so I do. And tonight after that call, I was like, it's a little bit later in the night. I didn't really, shower, change, and get ready to go out. It's like, I don't really feel like doing that, so I'm just not going to do it. Now Eli's laying on me. And so that's that. Didn't get the call or email yet, but I do expect that it'll be today, if not tomorrow. But I would think 90% chance it's before the end of the weekend. Probably 95% chance before the end of the weekend. Not really too worried about it. I'm trying to think what else is going on. I don't think too much. As I've been recording and kind of documenting my days, sometimes they're going to be very similar to the day before or the day before. The one's very similar to the next. And sometimes it makes for short content, sometimes it makes for long content, but right now it's steady state. So everything's kind of just going along. I'm just recording it. There's nothing. I mean, I could go out and do elaborate fancy things and record it for the sake of recording it, but I'm more of kind of just filming and recording and documenting what's going on, what I'm thinking, what's in my head, what I'm contemplating decisions to make, and what's going on in my day in a very natural, this is what my day is kind of way. And so I know that some of these videos have been really, really repetitive. That will change probably in the very near future, one way or another. But for now, it's what I've got to work with. So still appreciate you guys watching it. And hopefully tomorrow, this weekend, change your stuff up a bit.